Proud of the guys for the way we played last night and certainly the way we played today. Just a good, hard-fought game.
Questions for the student athletes? Start right here.
Bennett, what did you see that was kind of working so well for you throughout the majority of that game, and did they make some adjustments there down the stretch?
I pretty much just tried to keep it as simple as I could, trying to get to my right-hand hook. The guys were feeding me. They had confidence in me, which really helped me feel more comfortable shooting all the shots that I did. I'd say I took 14 shots. I feel like that's a lot more than I usually take, but the guys were cheering me on. They were telling me to just go for it, and I guess just the team helped me get there.
I guess for both the players, second half there was about an 8-minute stretch where you only had one field goal. Was it something they were doing defensively, or did you think you had some good looks that you just didn't hit?
Hunter, you're first, please.
I think we had a couple good looks that we didn't get, maybe a couple of turnovers here and there, but we ended up about 8 or 9 minute mark. We had a good stretch where we got some baskets, we got some stops, but then we just hit that a little stretch where we didn't get much going. But towards the end of the game, we got it going again, but just couldn't get over the hump.
Well, they're a great team, so we knew they weren't going to make it easy for us. I think it was a little bit of them just being a good team, locking down and playing good defense, and then us just, having a bad roll.
Hunter, I think you were able to get a couple pull-up jumpers at 8-0 run their second half to stretch it up to 4. How much confidence did you guys feel at that point in the game, and just your thoughts on how this team played as a whole going up against the 1 seed?
We were always confident. We didn't look back towards the season when they beat us twice. We didn't have that in our mind at all. We wanted payback, obviously, but we had a lot of confidence in that 8 or 9 minute mark. We got a lot of good stops, and I was able to come off with some good screens that Ben and Clint set for me, and had some open looks at the basket. So that helped me out a lot. But I think our confidence at that point in the game was pretty high.
Hunter, defensively, did you guys feel like this was your game? I mean, the way like Coach said, you held them to 54 points. Did you feel like defensively you guys did everything you needed to do today?
I mean, obviously not as much as we needed to do, but since we lost by 4, but I think we did a pretty good job overall. We still had some plays where they got some easy drives and maybe a couple back cuts here and there, and they still only had 54. So I think we did a great job, but there's still a couple plays here and there that we could have helped us out more.
Bennett, obviously, family tradition there with this program. You've played in some big opportunities, to play in some big games. What do you kind of take away from your experience that you've had here at UNI?
I think it's been an absolutely fantastic experience, getting to know the coaches so well over these, how long has it been, 12 years? A long time. It's been a blast throughout the entire time. Family's always been very supportive. I don't know how my parents do it. They drive to almost every game for 12 years. That's a lot of mileage, but it's been fantastic. I wouldn't want to have gone anywhere else other than UNI.
Anything else for the student athletes of UNI? Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. You're dismissed from here. We're going to stay with the head coach for just a while longer. First question for Coach Jacobson is right here.
Ben, what did you want to do defensively today with them? I mean, was it basically kind of get Custer out of his rhythm? Was that something you wanted to do today?
Yeah, that would certainly have been part of it. I think more, they get you in a lot of ways, and so you got to figure out which of those ways you can try to limit. And the transition was one of them, and Custer would be a part of that. That outside ball screen where he takes it to the outside and he gets himself in behind the basket and gets everybody looking at him. You saw a lot of that in the first half. Trying not to commit too many guys to him in that spot, or trying to stop him high enough on the floor. And then working so that he wasn't able to get into some spots, instead of always switching, trying to get out and deny him a little bit on some dribble handoff stuff. So there were things that applied to him, but also just generally when playing against Loyola right now, you've got to do that. You've got to slow him down in transition. You've got to try to find a way to not get stretched out. And those are things that all play into his hands. And I thought for a lot of the game, for a lot of possessions, we did a good job and made it hard on him. And the guys did a good job with Custer. I mean, he ends up, 1 of 7, and I'm sure there's a handful of those that he felt like he's going to make most of the time. He missed a couple layups. But even in saying that, we did a good job with him.
Coach, your teams always do a really good job. Excuse me. Coach, your teams always do a very good job of controlling tempo. Did you think you had the tempo where you wanted it today most of the game?
Yeah, the other part of playing against Loyola is they send most of their guys back in defensive transition. Most times when a shot is taken, they're sending 4 players back before that ball even gets to the rim. So they don't allow you many opportunities in transition. We got some yesterday, and I thought that helped us in the Evansville game. They're just hard to come by against Loyola because of the way they're structured. And so we would have liked to have found a couple more things in transition. And I felt like we gave them a couple too many, and they may have been after a turnover, maybe not after a missed shot, but I felt like we gave them a couple of too many transition baskets. The one at the end of the first half, for example, we turn it over on a play that that we don't need to make, and they come down, they hit a 3 right at the end of the half. I mean, those are that part of the tempo when you're playing against Loyola. That's where they end up getting you. Is you make a mistake, they turn it into quick points. And we didn't have a lot of those today. I mean, but this is the kind of team that, you just can't make mistakes against them because they turn them into points. So I thought the tempo was fine for us, and what I expected coming into this game. We just had 3 or 4 possessions where we weren't able to slow them in transition, and they were able to get baskets that were too easy.
Well, Coach, with your offense there, second half, you had about that 10-minute stretch where you couldn't get anything to fall, really. What did you kind of see as the struggles, or was it something they were doing, or something your team was doing, or a little bit of both there?
Yeah, there's on a deal like that, I think it's always some of both. They're because they're so efficient offensively. I think their defense gets overlooked. But you even saw the start of the game. We turned it over after turning it over yesterday 4 times in the entire game. We turned it over 3 or 4 times in the first 3 minutes. They've got a good presence about them defensively, and they're mobile enough that they can switch almost everything point guard through power forward, and that takes you out of some things. Now, once we settled in, we were fine in the first half, and we played a good first half. That stretch in the second half, part of it, offensively not being able to get it down to the block. We wanted to throw it inside to Clint and Ben as often as we could, and force them to have to defend that part of the floor or go in double like they've done a lot, which was going to open up something else for us, and weren't able to get as many of those touches as we wanted. But I think it was, we had the good stretch in the second half. And this may be off of your question, but they had the momentum in the upper hand, and then we got it back. You asked about Hunter making some jump shots. I mean, Benny got some stuff going inside, and Hunter got some jump shots going. And with 9 minutes left, we have the momentum, we have the upper hand, and we have the lead. So that stretch hurt us, but man, the guys they still battled their tails off. And we still had all the important stuff with 9 minutes to go.
Yeah, stay here.
Coach, just your thoughts on what you got out of your team here down the stretch. I know it was another rough start to conference play. Seemed like they really had things figured out going into the tournament, and defensively, especially playing the way your good teams have played, throughout.
Yeah, we had a great November, December. And that was fun for to be able to go basically 2 months and have beat some good teams and get a lot of momentum built up, a lot of confidence built up. That part of the season obviously was great for our guys. yeah, once you put yourself behind the 8 ball that much, I mean, at 0-5, everything's got to go almost perfect to finish in the top 4. And in saying that, we weren't too far off it, even though we didn't find everything here until probably the last 3 weeks. But we were playing our best basketball when it mattered most, and you like to do that for as long as you can. I think we all obviously are in the same thought process. We want our team to be playing good basketball for as long as possible, but we were playing our best basketball when it mattered the most, and we had. I think no matter which way you slice this game up here, we had the same chance to win today as Loyola did, and they've got a terrific team. So, I just proud of our guys for we were fighting uphill the entire conference season, and we still played our best in the last 3 weeks, and that says a lot about the 4 seniors we've got. Those guys were pretty special that way. They were going to do everything that they could within their power and with the influence they had on their teammates, so that no matter what our record was, we were going to play our best when it mattered the most, and they got that accomplished, and that's important. And those 4 guys deserve a ton of credit for that.
Thank you, Ben.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Best of luck.